Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is the second stream I'm doing. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better right now. I pumped up the juice on a little bit from earlier. We had an interview with Aiden Kylik from Hive, President and CEO there. We went for almost 2 hours on the interview. Bunch of great insight there if you guys want to catch it. I'm going to see if I can fix the audio somehow in either post or something like that and maybe re-upload the video. But today we got, what do we got? Miners doing pretty good. Bitcoin did okay, I guess you could say. But miners did good, so that was a good thing to see there. We got BitDigital reporting their Q1 results. We'll take a look at that a little bit as well, and then we'll take a look at the miners. How much did they dilute in last year compared to the prior year, obviously? And then what did we get for it as far as hash rate growth and just revenue growth in general? So we'll take a look at all that stuff as well. And let's see, Andre says, not too much, not enough. You're talking about the audio there. I got it up to like 98% of my bar there. We'll see what else. Let's see if we can do this. Maybe I can pump it up a little bit more here. Let's see if this is any better. Let me know if this is better. Okay. Hopefully that gets you guys a little bit more sound coming out. All right, but as always, not financial advice for entertainment only. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that, as always. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I should have done this also when I did the interview with Aiden earlier. I forgot. I was a little nervous. But I think the interview went pretty good, except for the audio quality was not great. I don't know what the heck's going on with my system. I'll see if I can get it fixed here over the weekend. I got to play around with it, see what the heck's going on, why guests and videos are getting an echo. So we'll work on that. But here's what we got. Bitcoin was okay today. It was down a little bit. It wasn't down too bad. It was down 0.28%. Miners did actually pretty good today, all things considered, maybe because of the last couple of days they were going in the red. So maybe they're just catching a little bit of a bounce here. But yeah, so Bitcoin's right now at 102,000, almost 103,000 roughly. Still kind of in this kind of accumulation phase right now, I think. A little bit of a correction. RSI has been falling down. Price of Bitcoin has been holding steady here, at least, right? You can see that the RSI is now at 65. Prior to that, Bitcoin was at 74 RSI, but we're at pretty much the same price here as it is. So that's looking a little bit good, giving us a little bit more headroom to run going forward. Miners did good today. Bitfarms was up 7.48%. BitDeer was up nicely, 10.63%. Cypher, for whatever reason, that thing was up 21.7% today. It had a huge jump in it. I mean, there's not much going on here. They just provide announced participation in an upcoming investor and industry conference. So nothing really to pump it, but it was going good. Cleanspark was up 4.49%. It was up higher before that, then it came back down. CORZ was up just a little bit, 2.57. Hive had a nice day, 12.5%. I think it might have been because they provided some answers as to how they're going to grow to 25 exahash. So that was looking pretty good. HUT was up 9.95%. IREN was up 8.52%. Mara was up just a little bit, 3.38. Riot was up 5.17, and Wolf was up 10.51%. MicroStrategy was up just a little bit, 0.7. Galaxy was up another 3%. That thing was up much higher today. It was up at 35, came back down a little bit here. We'll see if this, I'm guessing it's going to probably continue on here. They're going to be going, did they go public today on the NASDAQ? I thought they were supposed to go public today. I didn't check there. Some of the smaller miners did pretty good as well. Argo was up 15. BitDigital was up 15. Digi Power now was up 18%. DMG was just up a little bit, 5.5. Mawson up barely here. And Canon was up 4.2 here. The ETFs were actually up pretty good, 8.63% for WGMI. DEP was up 5.83. BKCH 7.2, and BitQ was up 4.6. So overall, good day in miners. Maybe they were starting to front run Bitcoin a little bit here. And we'll see where they go next week. But let's get into the stories that we do have here really quick. We'll get into that in a second. I put that in the wrong spot. Bitcoin right now is up 9.43% in month of May. Bitcoin ETF inflows continue to flow in Bitcoin here yesterday. BlackRock had a huge increase, 409 million bought into it. And then we'll see where it comes in today, even though we had quite a bit of selling from other ETFs on it yesterday. We had a nice buy-in from BlackRock. And then today we've got positive as well. So it should be a pretty good day for Bitcoin as well. But Bitcoin's just holding steady right now. Let's take a look at really quick here. What did I want to take a look at here really quick? Let's go into BitDigital really quick. We'll dive into that. I'm not going to go in too far into it. I was just trying to figure out how much Bitcoin they mined and what was the revenues there. You guys are more than welcome to read this. I'm going to look over the quarter-over-quarter results for them on my sheet here. As you guys know, I don't really track them that well anymore. I still keep an eye on them, see what they're doing. But I'm trying to figure out, just basically, are they improving in revenues for HPCI and things like that? Bitcoin mining has come down for them. We'll take a look at the numbers there for them, which is going to be on the smaller miners. Here it is. So here's BitDigital. Current number of shares, probably should update that as of Q4. Q1, I need to update that as well. So I forgot that number. So I'll get that updated. But they've done not too great over the last 12 weeks. They're up 32% or down 32% from 12 weeks ago, down 17, almost 18 from 8 weeks ago. From 4 weeks, they're up just a little bit, 3.7. And last week, they're up nicely, 17.42%. Like I said, I don't have any data for the mining side of things anymore. They don't provide monthly operational updates anymore, so we're not going to get into that. And I didn't update this stuff here because that was also on Bitcoin mining side of things. So let's go down here really quick. We'll take a look at what did they actually provide us with figures here on assets. Assets did decrease quite a bit here by almost, I would say, 8 million or something like that. Big decrease was the cash and cash equivalents, and also the digital assets that went down to 79 from 161 million there. Total assets, or total non-current assets at least, what do we have there? That actually went up to 297 from 241 million. Big increase was property and equipment, right? They've been buying out more sites. So that's good. And total assets decreased from 538 million to 485 million. Big chunk of that was probably over here on the digital asset side of things. Current liabilities, those came down to 48 from 55, so that's good. Total liabilities also came down to 67 from 74, so that's good, right? They're paying down their debt, that's good. Total liabilities to stakeholder equity came in at 485 million compared to 538 million. Most of that, like I said, was up above. Revenues here for digital asset mining, so Bitcoin mining, did come down to 7.7. I think they reported that they had, what, like 1.8 exahash, something like that, of Bitcoin mining now. So that is a drop from the 10.5 that they had at the, or 10.1 Q4, sorry, 10.5 from the end of Q4. Cloud services, they changed things up on us back in Q4 fiscal year end as far as the naming convention is for their business segments. And so they lumped it all together under that. So we don't really know if they improved, but I think they did. Because if we take the 45 million divided just by basically, we can do that by 4 months or 4 quarters, we would end up getting roughly, what is that going to be? 13, about 13 and a half, something like that, million. And they're generating 14.8, so that is an improvement. Co-location services did improve a little bit as well to 1.6 million from 1.3. Other actually went down here to 200. Well, that's for the full year. We don't know what that is for quarter. Ethereum staking was only 560,000 compared to 673,000, so that's down, but ETH was coming down. And then total revenue was actually 25 million compared to 26 million. So their revenue was down just a little bit here. Looking at the expenses side of things here, we can see the digital asset mining expenses did come down to 6 million from 8.7. So that is a nice improvement there. Cloud services, we don't really know, right? Because that got lumped together. So that's 6 million right now for the quarter. Colocation is 545,000. Ethereum staking was 32,000. What else do we have here? Depreciation amortization was 7.2, so that's down from the 8.7. General administrative came way down here to 8.2. Love seeing that from 16.3 to half of what it was, so that's great. Gain losses on digital assets, that was a loss of 49, right? That's probably what they have on Bitcoin. And Ethereum as well coming down. Oh, and then what do we got here? Let's see. Loss income from operations was basically 57 million there. So they had, it looked like maybe a positive Q4 here, 87 million, based on the numbers. And they lost 32 cents per share there. We don't know exactly what they had in Q4. They just reported the fiscal year end there. But I'm guessing they probably would have had a positive number there. Nonetheless, dilution. Now here's the dilution, 181 million shares right now, reported, basic and diluted as it is. So how much did it cost them to mine Bitcoin here? Well, it looks like it cost them approximately 73,000. Right now, based on the numbers, 83.3 Bitcoin mined is what I could find. And based on the revenue there and the cost, it looks like $73,516. So that's definitely a bit of a spike from where they were at 67,000 here in Q4. It's still pretty high. We'd like to see that come down. Looking at other things here as well, we can see revenue was, like we talked about, 25 million. And their general administration was 8.2 million, so that's 32 million. So that did come down from Q4 quite a bit. So that's good to see. I'd like to see that actually get down below like even 10 or something like that, 10%. All right, that is it for BitDigital. Right, I wish they would have continued to provide the monthly updates. It would have been nice to keep track of them, how they're doing on Bitcoin mining, and also on their, well, expansion and everything else into HPC AI, becoming a data center player. But based on what they reported last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in, for Bitcoin mining, I'm in between, actually, because I took out the number of shares. Let me update that. That's right. That's why that didn't work out. So let me do this. Let's go down here, put this number in here. We'll just go with the average here. Go with that. Based on those numbers, I got between $1.50 and $2.24. They're at $2.38. It looks like they're kind of overvalued on it, but when you include the numbers, possibly what they're generating for Bitcoin mining and along with their HPC business, right, going into the next 12 months, I got between 631 and 947, and that's kind of where a little bit higher than the analysts have them actually. Analysts have them between $7 and $5 for the high and the low. We still have 230 institutions invested in them. Shares invested by institutions is 79.4 million, and that's 45% owned. We still have the strong buy ratings and 1 buy rating for them, as it is. Okay, so yeah, they just got to continue to, get data centers, get customers in those data centers, grow as best they can, and they're pretty much at what now? Geez, I almost thought I was gonna sneeze there. Sorry, but looking at the revenues here, they generated total revenue of 25 million, so that's 100 million run rate roughly right now as it is. Okay, they were hoping to get a lot more, and hopefully they can get more, but it hasn't been easy for sure. That is for sure. All right, so that's it on that. Let's take a look at the dilution here that we got out of the miners here. So we're looking at Q1 versus, this should be Q1 2024 hash rate as well. Q1 2024 hash rate. How much did they dilute? How much hash rate did they grow? How much do we get per hash rate dilution? And how much do we get in revenue growth as well per dilution, per each share basically? At that point, a couple of things to note here. Hive is still yet to report. They will probably report in the next couple of weeks. For them, it's their end of fiscal year, so Q1 for us is their fiscal year end quarter. So it always takes a little bit longer to get the data back because it has to be audited. So that always takes longer to get. So they're kind of omitted out of this. We're not going to really cover them. And I think Hut 8 is also a little bit off right now because they changed stuff around on us as well. So they're off, so just so you know. All right, so we're pulling in Q1 2024 shares, latest shares reported, dilution of what that equated to, percentage of dilution, right? What was their Q1 hash rate, current hash rate at the end of Q1 here for 2025? What's the difference on that? Did we gain hash rate? Did we lose hash rate? And then what was the dilution per petahash? Revenue for Q1 of, should have been 2024 versus revenue of 2025, right? So that's going back a year. Current revenue, and then difference on that revenue, and what was the per diluted share revenue increase that we saw there. So when we look at it down here, we can see shares diluted. Bitfarms diluted the most, 199 million shares. CORZ second, 185. BitDeer third, 111 million. Riot 85, so number 4 spot, and IREN number 5 spot with 84 million. Then we got Marathon at 78 million, Cypher at 61, Cleanspark at 53 million, and then Hut 8, like I said, is only 13 million, but their data is off along with Hive's. Percent diluted here, Core diluted the most, 104%, followed by BitDeer, 95% dilution, IREN, 59%, Bitfarms, 56%, Riot, 31%, Marathon, 28%, Cleanspark, 23%, Cypher, 19%, and then Hut 8 and Hive down at the bottom. Hash rate growth-wise, Marathon grew the most, 29.5 exahash, IREN second to that, just slightly below that at 29 exahash. Cleanspark at almost 26 exahash there, Riot 21.3, Bitfarms at 12.2, Cypher at 5.2, BitDeer at almost 4.8, Hut 8 at 3.9, and then Hive, we have that, but it hasn't been updated. And Core was actually down 1.2 exahash on their hash rate growth. So when we look at the shares per petahash, what did we get, right, of increase? Well, Core was actually a negative 154,000 shares per the negative decrease in hash rate there. Hive, we don't know yet, right? Cleanspark was only 2,000 shares per petahash increase, so that's the best one there, followed by Marathon at 2.6 thousand shares per petahash. IREN was 2,000, almost 900. Hut, we don't know that one. That one's off. Riot was 4,000 shares per petahash, and let's see, Cypher was 11.5, almost 11.6 thousand shares per petahash. Bitfarms 16,295, and BitDeer 23,234 per petahash dilution there. Okay, now when we look at per diluted share revenue increase, we get $1.32 increase per each share that they diluted in revenue. quarter over quarter, basically over a year. IREN was a close second at $1.11, right, per share increase. Marathon 98 cents, Riot 80 cents, Bitfarms only 8 cents, Cypher 1 cent, Hut, we don't know. BitTier was actually negative 10 cents. Core was negative 45 cents there. So that's what we got. We did get quite a bit. Well, I mean, we got a lot of growth in a lot of these companies here. I mean, the top, I would say 5 companies here in the year installed 118 exahash. That's huge. Just those companies alone. So that was a lot of growth happening quarter over quarter from last year to this year. And what do we get as far as, well, I mean, there was a lot of shares diluted here. But you can see that definitely some companies did a much better job than others. Others are still growing, and they're going to be growing into this year as well. Like BitTier is going to be growing into, the second half of the year and into next year as well as they build out their data centers and get things plugged in. Same with a lot of these guys here, but it's nice to see that we're starting to kind of see a little bit less dilution from some of the bigger guys here, at least, as they're getting to scale, at least, from what I can tell. Right? So that's good, and we'll see where this all takes us. But that's all I got for you guys. This spreadsheet will be available to all the Patreon members there, and I'll get that probably out to you guys tomorrow sometime. I got soccer games with my boys in the morning, and then going to be working on the yard, so I'll get it to you guys sometime tomorrow, if not tonight. But that is it. The link for that is down in the description if you want to join. Okay, let's get into Q&A here really quick. And I do apologize for the audio that we had with Aiden. Unfortunately, I don't know what the heck's going on there. I'll try and work it out, figure it out, see what the heck's going on with it. All right, but let's see what we got as far as questions. It doesn't look like we got too many. It's obviously Friday night. People are out celebrating. And yeah, let's see it. Dynamite says, hi Seb, we just need another 10 days like today. Yep, that would be nice. Sour says, Seb's been a busy man today. Yeah, it's been busy. So trying to get this wrapped up here and take a break or figure out what the heck's going on with my audio. I don't know I have no idea what's causing the issues. If you guys recall, about 6 months ago, maybe a year now, I had Anthony on, had no issues. I've had somebody else on, had no issues. And for whatever reason, just, I don't know, I'll take a look into it. But it's definitely frustrating. Let's see here. Cleanspark diluted 23.29, heard no dilution, but that was from year over year, right? We're not looking at a last quarter to quarter, because if you look at last quarter to now, there was basically no dilution there. Okay. Do you think Cleanspark will remain committed not to dilute any shares for the rest of 2025? I believe they are. Right? They don't have an ATM, so they can't really pull on anything unless they come out with a new ATM, which would not be great. But yeah, based on the operations and everything else, they should be able to fund it with that. Andre says, no miner will promise not to dilute ever and keep their word. We'll see. We got 6 months to go to see if they keep their word. All right. Can you give a brief breakdown on Bitfarms situation? Will the stock stop getting beaten down? Well, recently they reported in their quarterly results that the power in Argentina was cut off because the supplier there is having financial issues, I guess, based on what I'm hearing. So that's not good. Hopefully that gets worked out. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But it's just one thing after another that keeps getting him, in trouble. It seems like it's one step forward and 2 steps backward with them. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the brief breakdown of what's going on there with them. They are obviously growing or trying to entice some kind of HPCI customers there for their 2 sites, possibly in Pennsylvania, but that's still down the road. They got to do quite a few things before that to make it a reality. And no more growth in Bitcoin mining here because of their ambitions towards HPCI, right? So hopefully that works out for them. And what else? I mean, that's basically it. They got a good team now, I think. They got good management. They got good board as well, board of shareholders there. So I think they have all the pieces in place. Now can they execute and actually get something for it? So that's kind of where we're at with it. We're definitely going to keep an eye on it. And if they stop providing the monthly updates, well, it's going to be kind of hard to see what's going on with them. Well, we know hash rate's not going to change, so the only thing that's going to happen is, one, Bitcoin mining month over month is probably going to come down for them. As the network hash rate continues to increase, the only thing that's going to help them out is Bitcoin going up in value much faster than the network hash rate. That will lead them to actually generate more revenue while still generating less Bitcoin. right? Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. All right. Are their management really solid? They do. I mean, Ben's been only there for, what, 9 months, 10 months, whatever it's been. So he's still relatively new in there. He's steering the ship in a different direction from what the other CEO and board members did. They got different board members in here as well. So I think they got all the right pieces in place. Now it's just, can they execute on it? And that's kind of the same thing for other miners as well that are going for HPCI, Riot, IREN. Right, it seems like they got the right people in place. Now can they just get customers for their HPCI ambitions? That's the question there. And if they do, then it was all for something. But if they don't, it was all for not. So that's kind of where we are at with all this stuff here. Okay. All right. Well, this one's going to be a short one then because I'm tired. I don't know about you guys, but today was a busy day for me. And so we got a couple more questions coming in here really quick. I'll get to that one, and then we'll call it a day here. Let's see. Was it Bitfarms or BitDeer that manufactured their own mining rigs? It's BitDeer. If so, wouldn't it better for their business model to sell their rig to another mining company and use the profits to fund HPCI? That's BitDeer. Yeah, BitDeer is doing that. BitDeer is selling their, they're making their own mining machines and selling them, but revenues have been kind of small right now for them on that. So it's not. BitDeer reported, what, $4 million in revenue for selling Bitcoin machines, and their cost was like 3 point something. So not a huge profit margin on that, at least not yet. I think it's going to take time for BitDeer to gain traction and market share potentially. They definitely have to come up with something that's going to outperform like Bitmain machines even, or right now they're pretty on par to each other, pretty close, but they need something that's going to like wow the market or something like that in order to gain some market share there. Because Bitmain is a juggernaut in the space right now, and they control a lot of the market share, and they control a lot of the buying decisions of these miners because they can offer these kind of deals, right? Where recently we've seen them offer miners to buy the machines with the Bitcoins that they have, lock it in at a certain price, and they can buy the Bitcoin back at that same price, right? So they're offering that kind of stuff. It might be a little tougher for like BitDeer to do something like that. Also, they do lock-in prices where you have options to buy more machines at the same price that you just bought it at a year out or whatever longer. So that's kind of where it's at right now. Kind of fluid. All right, we got, let's see, Sour has got a question popping up here as well. Bitchin82 also. Still concerned many of the miners are milking the market while the company just treads water. Employees cash out RSUs every year. Can they really even earn enough to justify a $40 share price? Well, some of these guys can, right? I think IREN is there, right? They're profitable. Their costs are really good. Cleanspark is getting close to that as well. Some of the other guys that are still mining at a much higher cost of Bitcoin, they need to get that stuff lowered. They need to get to scale. They need to do some things and maybe cut some overhead, right? Cut some people out potentially. All right, someone's got also a question here. What are your thoughts on the U.S. credit downgrade after hours? NASDAQ gave back its gains today. Yeah, I saw that. That's based on the fears of inflation, I think. But, if we get deals worked out with other countries on the tariffs and everything else, I don't know. I think it's just maybe a short blimp on the time frame of things, right? Might make the market a little sketchy next week, but that should help out. I'm sure Trump's going to come out and say something that's going to pump the market again. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Let's see. Dynamite says every couple of days we have a miner pumps. 24 for no reason. Cleanspark and IREN are next. Yeah, I mean, are the miners starting to front run Bitcoin maybe a little bit? Who knows? Do you think IREN and Cleanspark could do 40? I think so, but we need Bitcoin to really go, 150,000, 200,000, whatever it might be. The guy that has the power law there, he's thinking Bitcoin's going to go to like 180,000, 230,000, something like that. That'd be awesome, right? The miners become much more profitable at that point. They should have positive EPS. And if we have an extended cycle where, potentially we don't go down 70, 80% on Bitcoin and the miners go down 90, 95%, we could see where the miners could be profitable for a longer period of time as well. But, time will tell on that. That's just a theory right now. We'll see. All right, that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for coming in. And those of you that have joined the prior stream with Aiden, thank you so much for coming in. And I do apologize for the audio again. That really burns me a little bit. That wasn't, proper. I'll work on it over the weekend. I'll try to get this stuff figured out. See what the heck's going on there. So maybe next time that we do an interview with a CEO of a company or something like that, or anybody else, that the audio is going to be much better. I'm also going to look into maybe a different microphone. Right now I'm using the Shure SMB7 microphone, which is supposed to be like the best microphone. Got it plugged into my Rodecaster here, and I thought the audio was going to be great. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe the settings are wrong. I need to look into that stuff. So that's my assignment for the weekend. Figure this stuff out. And maybe I just need to change the microphone to like a Rode microphone so it all pairs together with that, and maybe it works better that way. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it to see how that works. But I got work to do. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably Sunday. We'll get back in the swing of thing on Sunday. So have a great weekend. Thank you so much for coming in as always. Love you all. I'll see you guys then.